glamour, runway, style, fame.
She likes fashion.
Welcome, I'm Shada Prolopfi,
And I'm Chloe Edinburgh.
and we are this year's directors of the Roaring Twenties Fashion Week, hosted in the lovely Long Island. This summer is all about the boyish garçon clothing trend.
However, we must not forget about the skirts, flashy evening attire, dresses that are hung straight or flared at the hip.
Right, and the comfortable sportswear and conservative work suits.
This decade's fashion all broke free of the physical and social constraints of the previous century.
Exactly why there are so many models out here tonight to show off a variety of outfits that define the decade.
I just can't wait to comment on all their outfits.
Me too. Once again, we want to welcome everyone to the
Roaring Twenties Fashion Week. First category we have is evening wear. Miss Myrtle Wilson is entering the stage.
Myrtle is showing off a dress of cream-colored chiffon. This dress gives out a continual rustle as one walks around the room. A very elaborate attire, fit for the wealthy, or for those who want to be.
Miss Jordan Baker is now entering the stage with an evening dress that is inspired by the sport look. It is an amazing beaded dress for a night out. It rises above the knee, exposing a muscular dancer's leg.
Myrtle Wilson enters once more and has changed into a brown-figured muslin. It fits nicely over her wide hips, really defining her figure. However, it looks a little tacky, don't you think, Chloe?
Well, Shada, all the outfits shown are typical for tea parties or get-togethers. They could be semi-formal or formal. These afternoon dresses were clothing of sophisticated beauty, made of lighter, brighter materials and more trim. White dresses worn in the summer were very attractive, while pastels or rich jewels tones offered variety in other seasons.
A very great variety of afternoon dresses shown. We now move on to common accessories. We have the delicate, beautiful Daisy Buchanan entering the stage.
She is wearing a three-cornered lavish hat made of velvet, satin, horsehair, straw, or felt material. It is stylish as it allows women to tuck their hair into the hat, allowing for that boyish look to shine.
The hat is one accessory that women would never leave the house without. There were hats for the summer, which were typically woven straw or cotton, and for the winter, felt or hand-sewn cloche hats. The most iconic hat was the cloche, meaning belle, because it was shaped with a round crown and a small brim. Women often had to tilt their head back to see clearly while wearing the cloche.
Catherine is displaying the red bob hair. Long hair is considered feminine, and moving into the 1920s, change will occur.
If you look closely, you can see the bracelet on her wrist. It is jingling up and down her arms. Bracelets were thick cuff gemstones or rounded bangles. Red, black, orange, teal, and sage were all popular colors. 1920s jewelry is simple but colorful for day wear and elegant white crystal or black for evenings.
Myrtle is reappearing, but those nearby can predominantly smell the perfume she is wearing. Perfume is something a lady could never leave without, and was able to be purchased at many locations including newsstands.
We now move on to the fashion of the flappers. Those ladies truly paved a path towards riskier clothing and demonstrated mighty confidence. Trendy women of the Roaring Twenties were called flappers. They dressed in colorful shift dresses with silk stockings and silk underwear, bobs or short and even haircuts, bare arms, flat chests, and long cigarette holders summarize the Roaring Twenties look.
This era re-identified womanhood and, in appearance at last, bridged the gap between rich and middle-class women. The simple cut and accessibility of butterick sewing patterns for the shift dresses made it easy for middle-class women to make their own clothes at home. They were no longer separated by the want of garments they could not afford. Zelda Fitzgerald is walking down the runway in typical flapper look. She is wearing a dress of shorter, calf-revealing lengths and lower necklines, though not typically form-fitting. Straight and slim was the preferred silhouette.
She is wearing high-heeled shoes, typically called Mary Janes, wearing red lipstick, mascara, and other cosmetics, and favors shorter hairstyles, like the bob.
It is said that her husband, Scott Fitzgerald, based the attire of his female characters in his novel of The Great Gatsby on a more modern, flapper look.
The show is now coming to an end, and it's time for the honorable mentions of the night.
Daisy is wearing a gray fur collar. This pulls her outdoor in the garden look together. Their curved shapes with large fur collars created a cocoon of warmth and style. If real fur is out of your price range, there are synthetic fake furs, often called Siberian fur cloth, that resemble the real thing. The most favored furs have long, soft hairs.
Daytime dresses of the 1920s were shapeless affairs. They didn't hug a woman's curves. Instead, they hung loosely. Often, even the sleeves were worn loose as well. This is why Myrtle Wilson is wearing a spotted dress of dark blue creme de chine. The 1920s represented a time of tremendous social change. Clothing highlighted the difference between social classes. This includes the flaunting of wealth by wearing white, silver, and gold colors.
Fashion is a reflection of the times and what is going on in the culture, politically, socially, and economically. That influence is very evident in how post-World War II society and the way culture was reacting to the new world they were living in was reflected in the 1920s fashion at all levels of society.
Thank you all for watching. Please be sure to call in your favorite fits of the night.
Signing off, I'm Shada Pralotfi.
And I'm Chloe Edinburgh.
Good night, Long Island, and we'll see you at the next Gatsby party.
This event was brought to you by Coco Chanel,
Ford Model T,
Frederick G. Banting,
and Hofstra University.